Show you the replays of Cabrera getting thrown out at the plate to end the first inning. Here in the second is Napoli's first up. He'll be followed by Gomes and Stephen Drew against Anibal Sanchez. That's inside ball one. Cabrera's been dealing with a groin injury. Not running well at all, having a tough time turning going around the third base bag. And he ran into the out to end the first.
Even with 2 strikes and 2 outs, that's when a base runner at second base can get the extra step or 2 that could be required for him to be safe at home, but not so. He was out by 10 feet.
Good strong throw by Gomes, who had 5 assists during the regular season. He's got a big one here in game 5. Count 2-1 on Napoli, who is 3 for 12. Had 2 hits last night. Takes ball 3. Little different looking Sanchez here in game 5 than we saw in game 1, and a little bit more patient on the part of the Red Sox even here early, facing this good right-hander for the Tigers. As Napoli hits one into center. Back at the wall. The Red Sox lead it on a blast to center by Mike Napoli. It's 1-0. 3-1 pitch, and Mike Napoli hits his second home run of this postseason.
That is the perfect word for the ball just hit by Napoli. Blast. Only downside to hitting a ball that far is coming in and having the hair on your chin pulled hard. It hurts.
Center field is 420 feet from home plate, and that went up into the shrubbery in the batter's eye, way up that wall out there. Now Gomes fouls it back, strike 1.
Check this out. Fastball count way over that 420 sign, way over it. That ball might have been hit 470 feet.
1 ball, 1 strike on Johnny Gomes.
Mike Napoli takes terrific care of himself during the offseason. In fact, a couple of years ago in 2011, he used to work out with Miguel Cabrera in Fort Lauderdale.
Here's a pop foul back here.
Talk about using the bottom part of your body when you hit, only to have the top half of your body pulled when you get back to the dugout.
1-2 the count on Gomes. With Drew to follow, then Bogarts. That's hit at Cabrera, got a bad hop. You can see that it came up on Miguel Cabrera. Gomes will reach. We'll see if it's a hit or an error. The batter will be Stephen Drew, still trying to get to the replay of Miguel Cabrera coming around third, being thrown out at the plate in the first inning. Here is Drew, and that's a grounder foul right side.
After the first game, John Farrell was asked by the press why the Red Sox haven't tried to bunt on Miguel Cabrera. He said at times he's 45 feet from home plate. I don't know how Miguel can look.
Here's one that
any kind of bunt play. Excuse me, Joe.
Here's one that just trickled away, not far enough for Gomes, who was almost picked off. Not far enough for him to get down to second. He was late getting back to the bag on that throw over by Sanchez. 0-1 on Stephen Drew. That's strike 2.
Here's that play with 2 outs. Johnny Peralta again, a base hit in the hole. Watch Cabrera and watch third base coach Tom Brookins. The reason that he waved him until Cabrera rounded the bag, he was seeing what left fielder Johnny Gomes was going to do. Had he dropped the ball, he sends him When he caught the ball, he was going to hold him, and Miguel Cabrera ran through the stop sign. Out by plenty.
Here's the 0-2. Drew strikes out. One away. Now 1 on, 1 out. And here's Xander Bogaerts. 21 years old. Got a hit last night in his only at bat. He doubled in the 9th inning. And he gets the start tonight. He is the top prospect and was all year in the organization for the Red Sox. And like John Farrell told us, this guy is so likable. Typically with a guy who's labeled as the top prospect, there's jealousy in the organization from some of the other players. Everybody is a fan in the Red Sox organization of Xander Bogaerts.
What a delightful young man to fans and players alike. From Aruba, which is about a 10 or 15-minute flight from Curacao.
An autonomous member of the Kingdom of the Netherlands is Aruba. Xander speaks 4 different languages as he swings through that pitch from Sanchez, strike 1. So while Xander's teammates got a look at Anibal Sanchez in game 1, Xander has not had that look, and that first swing showed it. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 out. Down the left field line, that ball is headed for the corner. Going to third is Gomes, into second is Bogaerts, and the guy John Farrell inserted into his lineup has got a double here in the second. And so Bogaerts delivers for Farrell, getting the start. Now it's up to David Ross, who hit only .216 during the regular season. Their better hitting catcher is on the bench in Saltalamacchia. Second and third, ball 1. Gomes the runner at third, Bogaerts at second. And Sanchez steps off. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That is ripped into left. Back at the wall. It's over the head of Peralta. 1 run scores. They hold Bogaerts on an RBI double by David Ross. It's 2-0 Red Sox here in the second.
And Bogaerts grabbing his helmet at third base, knowing he made a mistake. A line drive to left field. With 1 out, you do not go back and tag up. You go halfway. That's a 21-year-old mistake right there. And the rule of thumb is you get as far off the bag, the closer the outfielder gets to the fence. You've got to go halfway because you've got to be in a position to score. He went back to tag up, and he knew immediately, and he just grabbed his helmet, upset with himself.
Now it's second and third. Only 1 run scores on the double. David Ross, who's in the lineup more for what he does behind the plate, delivers at the plate with a bat in his hands. And here's Ellsbury. Now it's Bogaerts at third, Ross at second, still only 1 out. And they're pinched in at the corners for the Tigers on their infield. Strike 1.
Here it is right here. Gomes scores easily, and Bogaerts knew he made a mistake by not going halfway, being in a position to score.
Rick Porcello getting ready for the Tigers in their bullpen. So early runs for the first time. This Boston offense clicks against a Tiger starter in the early innings. Here's a ball off the glove of Sanchez. A run scores and everybody's safe. And in the end for Boston, no harm, no foul as Bogaerts scores. Ross goes to third. It's 3-0 Boston here in the second.
When you're at third base, you try to watch the line drive. Bogaerts did, off the glove of Sanchez. He scores easily. First and third and only 1 out.
Well, the adjustments have paid off here in the second inning. The 21-year-old rookie mixed in the number 8 spot. Now the runner goes, and Ellsbury takes second base uncontested.
Shane Victorino, a good base runner in his own right, realizing Ellsbury was running, faked the bunt. That is so frustrating for a catcher when a hitter puts that bat head right in front of your eyes and it throws your timing off. No throw by Avila.
That's the 5th stolen base this postseason for Ellsbury, and his first of this ALCS. The infield is in. Victorino chops to second, throw home, and out at the plate. Big collision from David Ross as he just plowed into Avila, who held on for out number 2.
That's why you bring the infield in. Runners are on at second and third. I love that strategy by John Farrell, telling Brian Butterfield to send David Ross. Remember, Miguel Cabrera ran over David Ross in the bottom of the first inning, and now it's Ross's turn. And then he pats him on the rear end and understands it because he's a catcher also. Jim
Leland went to the home plate umpire Dale Scott. I think they're going to check on the health of Avila.
But when you have a 3-run lead in the early innings, and even with the infield in, you take that chance of trying to score the runner from third.
So it's a fielder's choice hit into by Victorino, with Infante throwing home. Both Avila and Ross missed time. The two catchers missed time this year, suffering with concussions. There didn't appear to be any contact at the head of Avila. A lot of shoulder and arm. Now the count's gone to 2-0 on Pedroia. On this cold night, Avila got hit hard by David Ross.
I was trying to telestrate those two little paddings off the left and right shoulder of Alex Avila. That could have helped a little bit.
This should end the inning. Infante flips. It's a big inning for the Red Sox here on the road. Behind their ace, John Lester, they come up with 3 runs in the inning that started with that from Mike Napoli. A home run to straightaway center. RBIs by Ross and Ellsbury. In Game 5, Boston on top, 3-0 in the second.